You are listening to Kickspot.
I never thought of streaming every day, but I learn a lot, and again, at the end of the day, I'm just glad that I've been streaming every day.
Yeah. Are you recording new music at the same time?
Mm-hmm. So I've been recording or creating a lot of new songs, and my goal is to create an EP, hopefully this year.
Yeah.
自分も EP、制作しておりますという感じなんですけど、what's up, man? Do you have anything new coming up for you?
Nothing really with music. I mean, I released my album about 6 months ago, and then I've just been focused on this radio show, doing a lot of the radio drops and all that for them too, just doing all the music. But ultimately, my goal is to really help artists like yourself build a platform and then be able to help just any. I really want to let people know that Asians can actually sing, and I've had my fair share with record labels telling me that they would have signed me, but the fact that I was Asian, they didn't sign me. And I think times have changed a little bit now where you get to see a lot of Asian artists, and I think at my time it just wasn't known. So I want to see artists like yourself actually just build that platform and then be able to advertise you guys, market you guys as much as possible, because I think you guys are doing just a great job. I keep admiring the fact that you're on the hustle and you're doing your thing, but this is the perfect time for just Asians in general to constantly make music so that there's just more exposure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jinu, are you from LA or are you from?
No, I actually grew up in Guam. I was born in Guam.
Guam?
Yeah, I was born in Guam, and then I moved to Seattle, and then I grew up there, went to college there, and then I moved to LA.
Hey, didn't know that, man. You're from Guam?
Yeah, fellow islander. Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. Well, I've never been to Guam, but is it pretty similar, weather-wise or temperature-wise?
I would say it's a little bit more humid. I've been to Hawaii a few times too, and I would say Guam is a lot more humid compared to Hawaii.
ラジオショーを始めたきっかけはいろんなアーティストさんを、そしてアジア人のアーティストさんをサポートしたいっていうもの願望があったそうなんですけど、そもそもグアム出身だったそうです。で、グアムからシアトルに引っ越して、その後、現在は LA にお住まいだそうです。グアム出身なのは知らなかったですね。Wow. I should definitely go visit Guam. Yes, for sure. That's cool. So, I was really first of all, Randy brought me to LA.
Mm-hmm.
So Nisei Week was actually the first ever opportunity for me to go visit LA.
Oh wow!
And I was imagining LA to be a more, what's the word? A tough place.
Yeah.
Talking about race and stuff, because I thought no one really is going to care about me, but as soon as I went to especially in the Little Tokyo area, I was really surprised that there's such a strong Asian community.
Yeah. I mean, your community, Little Tokyo, I think just Asians in general in LA now have really bonded and supported each other. I think they do a lot better job now. I guess I can't speak to LA, but when I was growing up back in the day, it was kind of people were fighting against each other. If someone was doing something big, people would get jealous, and then they'd want to do better than that person. But I think nowadays, what I've seen is everybody just working together, and like what we're doing now. You didn't see that maybe 10 years ago. So it's kind of nice.
I'm super happy to hear that.
Yeah.
And totally. Jealousy is not gonna make anything good. It's and same for me. What I've really learned, or what I thought was cool, is people, instead of being jealous, a lot of people really wish their success each other. Yeah. And that's all I'm about it.
Yeah.
Also, so.
Yeah.
そうですね。やっぱその嫉妬するってことよりも、やっぱ他人の成功をやっぱ心から祈れるような人間がね、たくさん いらしてたっていうのがやっぱすごい LA に行ってよかったなということ。まあでも もちろんそのいろんな、ね、方もいますよ。But you know, at the same time, there's a lot of people out there, so I'm not saying like everyone, but you know, majority of people I've met are super nice, and you know, I just can't thank enough for all the stuff that's been happening, and it's crazy, you know, how one decision could change your entire life. And if I didn't, you know, if my family didn't choose to move out to Hawaii in the first place, probably this whole thing might have like not happened.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. やっぱハワイに引っ越さなかったら、そもそもやっぱ全部これなかったのかなって考えると恐ろしくなるぐらいで、人生って選択一個一個のタイプなんですね。Have you like experienced that also? Like
what,
about like decisions, like how you know it changed your life or
just like
making decisions?
In what sense?
Like anything. Like do you
like moving to LA?
Moving to LA, or you know, just in general, like making decisions.
Yeah, like so I actually, you know, when I grew up, there was a lot of Koreans that would like fight other Koreans. It was just like the thing to do for some reason. It was like the elderly respect thing. Like I think that people just didn't have like an identity to what it was like to be an American, like an Asian American yet. And so I think the way that they kind of like got along with people was that they just wanted respect from somebody. And so it was kind of like that. And so I actually strayed away from my culture and being Korean for a while. I like hung out with like a lot of white black people. Like that's kind of how I got into like the pop R&B type of music. Like I just grew up around that kind of and those people. And then when I moved to LA, that's when I actually realized that my first show back was like maybe 3 years ago, and it was in K-Town. It was KX Fest, and so one of my friends was headlining it. Actually, it was my producer as well too, was headlining the show, and then I just got so much love from people. And it wasn't just like Korean people, it was like all races. And I thought that was interesting that all races were supporting like these like Asian Americans singing. And so it was really, really cool to see. And so I started embracing my culture a lot more and having a lot more respect for it instead of kind of like straying away from it. But I think LA does do that to you. I actually lived in St. Louis for 5 years as well. So, and that's where I got a lot of experiences with like diversity, like it not being as diverse. It was a lot more segregated out there. Everybody thought I was Chinese everywhere I went and stuff. So it was very interesting. And then with the whole like situation with like what's going on now, that happened during the time when I was out there because somebody ended up, you know, getting shot as well too. So it was kind of interesting to see like a minority being there, experiencing that, coming to LA, trying to figure out like what's going on, and then having basically Korean people or K-Town or people that love Asian people in general like support Asian people. I thought that's pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool to hear, man.
Yeah, I mean like Hawaii is so diverse. I mean like,
why? Yes, I totally feel like, you know, there's a lot of populations that's Asian, but at the same time, you know, everyone is mixed.
Everyone's what? Oh yeah,
like everyone's like a lot of my friends, and you know, just I've you know, became friends with a lot of people who has like a different background, like, you know, it could be cultural or beliefs or, you know, a race or ethnicity, like whatever, you know. But you know, I became really open-minded. So I guess, you know, for the first step for me to moving out from Japan, Hawaii was probably the perfect place.
Yeah.
But you know, like again, one of my goals is to, you know, visit or challenge myself to a place I'm not really used to it. So, you know, who knows what happens.
Yeah. You think about moving to LA?
I would for sure. But now I'm kind of like, you know, thinking and, you know, just realistically, just got to build it up. But more to go. It's a step-by-step process, but yeah, you know, hopefully. But I'm super happy, and that's such a cool thing to hear from me, man.
I would imagine there's a lot of creatives that would want to work with you as well too. And you being in Hawaii, I mean, just that flight in general and the cost of that might be a little bit, difficult. But
Yeah.
But I mean, even doing like a YouTube cover, it's like, Eden, come fly, spend $1,000. But I know there's a lot of people that would want to work with you as well too here. So feel free to come by anytime. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be more than honored to, do something with you too, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so down for that.
Okay, Japanese. ハワイやっぱその最初にね、引っ越したのがハワイですごい良かったなと思うのが、やっぱなんていうのかな、アジア人が多いっていうのか、日本の文化が結構親しんでるっていう人が結構やっぱすごい多かったっていうのがあったりして、結構フレンドリーで。で、やっぱいろんな文化にやっぱ触れました。で、やっぱみんなすごい血が混ざってる方々がほとんどだったので、そこはやっぱ違う文化や、いろんな人と友達になったことによって、やっぱ自分自身めちゃくちゃオープンマインドになりましたし、でもやっぱこれからはやっぱもっと、あえてあんまり慣れてない場所に自分を放り込んで挑戦してみたいなっていう気持ちがあります。で、まあ現在はちょっと状況によってどうなるかわからないんですけど、前は本当にLA に住みたいなっていう願望があったりとかもしたっていうお話をしてます。はい。Right.
See, I took one semester of Japanese, and so.
Oh, you did? You did?
Yeah. I don't really know much Japanese actually. So.
Do you speak another language fluently?
Just Korean.
Kind of want. Oh, that's cool. I'm sure Hey, Eugene, what's up? Hey, I'm sure there's a lot of Korean viewers out there too, watching right now. Maybe.
Yeah.
Do you want to
actually, I looked at the analytics and stuff, and I get a lot of Latin people that follow me, but I like the Latin culture. So it's like one of my songs I ended up translating into Spanish, and that was like the hardest thing to do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Spanish, man. I mean.
Yeah, I'd ask my one
Yeah.
of my close Mexican friends, I was like, hey, cause I'm gonna go line by line. Can you just make sure I'm saying it right? I don't want to butcher your language or anything like that. So he was literally there, just line by line, guiding me through. So hopefully it turned out pretty good.
I know Spanish sounds really hard, but yeah. That's another really interesting thing, to learn another language. Because I did have a lot of Korean friends that from high school as well. So
Was it in Hawaii?
In Hawaii.
Mm-hmm. What school did you go to?
What school? Kaiser.
Kaiser. Okay. Oh no, I mean my friends went to the typical Punahou.
Oh really? Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
I remember my English teacher during junior year, she graduated from Punahou, I think. Well, anyways.
Hey, when you come to LA and then we meet up, you gotta bring me some malasadas, man. That's my favorite.
Malasada straight up from Hawaii.
Oh my gosh. I love malasadas. It's so good.
Yeah, they're the bomb for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure, since you're a huge foodie, I'm sure you know a lot of good places in K-Town. So
yeah,
I would love to have a little tour in K-Town too.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do
you eat everything?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
I haven't done the squid, or not the squid, the octopus, the live octopus. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Like Japanese food.
No, so in some of the videos that you watch, they have that live octopus, and then they cut it up and it's moving, the tentacles are moving, and then and then you dip it in hot sauce and then you eat it. Have you ever seen that?
Yes, I might have seen that, but I haven't tried it before.
Yeah, I actually haven't tried that. So when you come to LA,
well, maybe I'll try it all together.
Okay.
Wow, that's super cool. So, a lot of foods you you a good chef for sure, and you a professional radio host. Again, honored to be a part of the Kickspot. And you also singer-songwriter that's multi-talented, man. めちゃくちゃ才能に満ち溢れてる方ですね。So, like what made you like, so I know I've been like asking the same question every time when there's, when I'm with another singer-songwriter, but what inspires you of creating songs or like the song creating process, and at the same time, what really makes you like happy or glad that you do like music?
Yeah. So I think growing up, when my parents weren't really supportive of my music, I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do, and ironically enough, every single test that I took told me that I should be a counselor, and I find people just very, very interesting. I like asking a lot of questions. I like getting to know people. I'm naturally an introverted person. Like when you see me perform, you wouldn't think that. But on a personality test, I like my alone time. I like writing. I like thinking. I like reading. So people like naturally gravitate towards asking me a lot of questions. Like they vent to me. I've noticed that a lot. Because I'm not going to share their secrets or anything like that. But as they're talking to me, the creative side comes out. And I'm like, I wonder what that person's going through. And I think about it. And as they're explaining stuff and their emotions, I get deeper and deeper into what they're actually feeling. And then I start writing about that, like in my private time side. So they don't know I'm writing about them. So I would say about 50% of the songs that I write aren't necessarily about me. It's about other people. But it's because they were able to really dig deep into like their emotions, and I love that.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So like meeting new people is like that definitely like your inspiration, you said.
Yeah. I like to put myself in like weird, uncomfortable situations. Like I remember going to a poetry fest. When I first moved back to LA, I was like, I want to do something really, really weird. I wonder if people sing at a poetry fest. And I mean, people, when I went there, it was like nerve-wracking. And people are literally like, they're real poets. And then they're like, okay, next Jinu Park is going to be singing a ballad for you. So I'm just singing a ballad. I think everybody's kind of like, I wonder why he's here. But I did it, and then right after that, I just left. But it's just the uncomfortable situations that I try to push myself, and I don't want to limit myself from anything. But yeah.
I respect your confidence, man.
Oh, it's not confidence. It's I just have to get it go over with,
I see.
Yeah, just because I naturally am an introvert, so even when I perform, I plan out what I'm gonna do, which is kind of crazy. And I wish I was one of those people that could just like wing stuff. And so sometimes I'll wing it, but then majority of the time I've already kind of pre-planned like what I'm gonna do, which is kind of sad. But I just don't want to show people a bad performance. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll say, I'll give this person the mic during this time or that. Like I imagine that stuff way before, and yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But that's really interesting, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to know that like just that new experience is definitely a huge connection of creating new songs for sure.
Yeah.
And Japanese, yes. 日本語ですね。どうやって曲作りされてるんですか？どこでインスピレーションを受けてるんですかっていう質問をしました。そしたら、なんかその人間にすごい興味がある方だそうで、もともとすごい騒ぐような人間ではない、一人の時間が必ず必要な人間、ジュンさんはそういう方なんですけど、でもやっぱ人と新しく初めて誰かと会った時とかはやっぱ質問をたくさんしてしまうところがあったりとか、人間観察が好きなんですよ。それがやっぱその経験だったりとか、他人に関する、歌詞が 50% と制作される。
You are listening to Kickspot.